Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, welcome to the jungle. Tonight will be the first ever broadcast of the Roope and Rumsey Show, coming to live from the basement of my house. Tonight ends the era of the red rifle that I'm sure made everyone flaccid, and enters the era of Big Dick Joe. So welcome. Tonight, me and my co-host, William Rumsey, will be talking whatever than the draft. So stay tuned here as we get settled in, because we're going to give the ins and outs of what the Bengals need, want in the upcoming season. And we will continue to give out content in the next 2 to 3 days and continue as we build up to a daily process. So stay tuned as we get settled in. Welcome, William.
Uncle Donnie.
Yes, social distancing, maybe about 6 inches.
We already
about
broke
6
the
feet.
rules.
Yeah,
We already broke the rules.
but thank you. Hey, thanks for coming in. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft, tonight. And obviously, the Bengals are on the clock as we speak.
Mr. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, is there any mystery?
What's his nickname again?
Yeah, Big Dick Joe. Big Dick Joe.
I was going to go with Jungle Joe, but I like Big
Yeah,
Dick Joe.
yeah. I mean, we kind of tossed that around a little bit. Jungle Joe has a nice ring to it. And, as we were talking off camera, we thought the Big Dick Joe era reminded us of who?
Broadway Joe.
Yeah, Broadway Joe. I think he has a little bit of an edge like Broadway Joe, and I feel that where we had the Andy Dalton era, which did not did not inspire greatness, nor really got the boys fired up. Where I believe Big Dick Joe will do just that.
We can even go back to Carson Palmer, our last Heisman-winning QB that we took number 1 overall. Carson Palmer was great, cannon for an arm, but he just was lacking a little bit of personality. And I think Joe is going to take the reins on that, and I think Cincinnati is going to fall in love with him tonight and continuously over the next couple of seasons.
Yep, as I said in the intro, tonight is all about Who Dey Nation, and I believe we are now upon a new era, which will get us back into the playoff mix and hopefully the elusive Super Bowl. Cincinnati.
God,
Yes.
We're already talking Super Bowl.
We are.
Are we talking Super Bowl?
Yes, we are. And I got to be honest with you. As many probably know or maybe not know, the rookie contract is literally a nice is it 4-year window? 4-year window. That a lot of teams like the Chiefs took advantage of, and if you have a special talent like Mahomes, which we hope certainly Big Dick Joe. Hey, we hopefully Big Dick Joe, gives us a Mahomes-like year. But I think their window, certainly although it isn't going to be just that 4-year window, but that's a key opportunity to take advantage of a nice run.
So obviously they're going to go with Burrow. The question then becomes with what's going on in the world, no off-season activities, no OTAs, probably training camp, who knows? Do they start him right out of the gate?
I say yes.
I say yes as well.
Yeah, I think, and to piggyback off of that, I believe that we should definitely get rid of Andy Dalton. I think you don't want Big Dick Joe to have looking behind his back all the time and wondering when's my turn, why are we doing this, and I think we should go to subscribe to the theory of Peyton Manning, throw him to the fire.
Yeah.
Manning wasn't very good, I don't believe, in his first year.
I think he had over 25 interceptions that first year.
Yep. And I believe, as Manning said, he learned from him.
He did.
It wasn't all rainbows and lollipops that first year, but what he said, he learned how fast the game was. And, I think, and Joe and Peyton, too, he was in the SEC, so he knew, he was coming in already knowing how fast competition was with the SEC, as like Joe. But
And he came into a bad team.
Yeah.
I mean, these top guys coming out of college, they're going to come into a situation where the team around them is not great.
No, absolutely not.
But the Bengals, I mean, obviously they're 2-14 last year, but they do have offensive players, I believe, in place. Now their offensive line, yes, they need to work on that. But I think with Mixon, AJ Green coming back, John Ross, maybe, he showed flashes last year. So I think they do have some things in place where he can be successful. Oh,
I think John Ross, as long as AJ Green's healthy and John Ross settling at a number 3 spot, I mean, and just stretch the defense, then, Boyd
stretch?
Yes. I believe Boyd and Green can definitely, even though Green is, a downfield threat, those guys can definitely work underneath while Ross blows the top off the defense there. So, but that being said, I think going soon after this draft takes place tonight, I think the Bengals definitely need to shore up the Mixon situation.
Is there going to be a holdout?
Well, let's hope not. I mean, nothing's going to sour the mood of the Houday Nation more than a holdout. And
we need both of our Joes.
Yes, we need both Joes for sure. And I think the talent is there. I mean, as long as they definitely shore up that offensive line with that number 1 pick coming back and draft another 1 or 2. And if they can come in right away, I think we have the makings. We could be a surprise team.
Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know about Super Bowl, but I think it could be a nice market improvement, obviously, over last year, even maybe as much as an 8-8 team, or if things play out right, a 9-7 team.
So, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're in probably the toughest division, I would say. The Browns.
MVP of the league.
Yep. The MVP of the league. The Browns are definitely continually getting better, and if I believe if they get the Trent Williams trade that there's been talk of, that line's going to be,
They sign Conklin. They'll probably draft a lineman, and then pair that with possibly Trent Williams. That's a hell of an offensive line.
Absolutely, and then obviously the Ravens. They had the best record in the NFL last year going into the postseason, and whatever their pick is going to be a luxury pick. So
I've been hearing linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. Well, and then I also have heard rumors too that
Murray out of Oklahoma, I think he's the linebacker, and then Queen out of LSU is the potential for the Ravens.
Yep, and also there's been some speculation and some rumors over Antonio Brown.
Oh, God.
Yes. So, since he's Marquise Brown's cousin, I think there's been some rumblings. Lamar's even lobbied for him already. Wow. So, who knows how that plays out. Yeah. And then the Steelers with Big Ben coming back, and, they're always solid from top to bottom. So, it should be interesting. But like I said, I think the Bengals, their window's getting ready to come.
Good. So I'm going to switch gears. So going back to Joe Burrow, obviously he's the man of the moment. A lot of people say he did it only for 1 season.
I scoff at that.
Oh,
yeah.
I do too.
I scoff at that.
Okay, good.
And I know that there's a lot of, different publications saying, wow, he only did it for 1 year. Well, he did it against the best competition.
Agreed.
And you know what? He shredded it. Had the best, statistical season ever as far as a college quarterback has ever done.
60 touchdowns.
Yeah.
60.
60. I mean, that's
not in, the old, what was the guy's name? Colt Brennan?
Yeah.
Hawaii days.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right.
That's against I think he'd be, 7 top 10 teams?
Yeah. Yep, I believe that is correct. We don't have a statistician, by the way, feeding us anything.
Yeah,
so
we're going with 7 top 10.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's a
That's not written on my notes.
But to your point, though, I believe his completion percentage might have been in the mid 70s. So when you have that many touchdowns, and I think you had 4 or 5 interceptions. Yeah, so when you have that touchdown to interception ratio against that level of competition and completing that high of percentage of passes, listen, there's a reason Miami Dolphins are wanting to trade a Herschel Walker type trade, giving the Bengals as much as they can. And the reason is Joe Burrow is special.
Yeah.
And Miami has went out on in public and saying they believe he's the next Joe Montana, which is, I think we'd be happy with that.
This is a full-on Joe.
Yeah,
we got some Joe momentum.
Well, hopefully, I feel exactly we do, and I feel like we'd like to be on the right side of the Montana ledger for
this.
For that couple Bengals Super Bowl wins.
Stings.
Yeah, so
that still stings.
It's an exciting time. The Bengals are set up, definitely good with the first pick in every round. I don't think there's any question that they're not going to make any trades and they just go with Joe. I think it's a foregone conclusion.
He's their guy.
Yeah, or that shirt's really
going to be. We got.
Yeah. I don't know if that shirt's
won.
And the funny thing is
I'll make you one for $30.
$30. Hey, speaking of shirts, you can get this shirt.
That's a better one.
$20. $20. Reach out. Got plenty in stock. The Horny Who Days. If Joe Burrow tonight's making you horny, reach out. We can get you a shirt for $20. Because tonight is definitely about the Bengals. The Bengals are
Who Day?
The center of the world right now.
They are.
This is exciting. I mean, the Bengals need this after a very terrible season. But like you said, they have a lot of offensive skill positions in place. So, and then obviously I'm excited about that tackle coming back.
Oh yeah, Jonah Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
let's get him back.
Hopefully he turns out to be an Anthony.
I think he's got a video online of him pushing a truck across the parking lot.
We need it.
That made me a little
horny.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we need all the horniness we can get as far as making Big Dick Joe feel comfortable back there. So, I mean, that's going to be that's why I think it's key to get Mixon in place. I mean, a happy Joe Mixon is going to go a long way in making Big Dick Joe feel comfortable in the back because, early on, like Billy had said, it's going to take a minute for him to get adjusted in the scheme of things without OTAs and stuff of that nature. So they're going to lean a little heavier on the run game, I suspect, to start off and then, give safe throws for Big Dick Joe until he gets comfortable.
That just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does. I definitely, well, and the thing is about, Big Dick Joe is, he's a little out there. He's a little bit more brash than
like Broadway Joe.
Yeah, well, like Broadway Joe. He's not like Andy Dalton, certainly.
Do we want to play that video?
No, God, that'd be the greatest video. If you haven't seen it, please look that up on YouTube. With Andy Dalton, the first game of the season against Seattle, and we're talking the first opening game. You're fired up, so he gets the offense together for a little pep talk, and he does a little break, and it made you flash. There was no excitement at all, and this is going to be the exact opposite of what Big Dick Joe brings to the table. In my opinion.
I'm going to end with, unless you have anything, just my last kind of point. I read a story today, just kind of doing a little research, why I think Burrow is going to – so his freshman year at Ohio State, in a team meeting or quarterback meeting, Urban Meyer told him in front of everybody he threw like a girl. Now, obviously, he transferred out of Ohio State, didn't beat Dwayne Haskins out for the job. But in my opinion, that shows that he can overcome adversity.
Absolutely.
Left Ohio State, went to LSU. That first year, everybody said he did it for 1 year. He went 10-3 the first year. Next year, he won national championship game MVP, 60 touchdowns, Heisman Trophy. He's our guy.
Absolutely.
Who Day?
Yes. Hey, and, I think if, to piggyback off of that comment, if the Bengals could get, say, a 10-6 season out of him the first year and then win a Super Bowl, i.e. the national championship the second year, then you know what? We're happy. There's going to be a Bengal craze like the '88 Super Bowl team. The city was electric. I don't know how young you were that we're watching right now, William.
I was 8.
Yeah,
I remember it. It was the first football game that I remember.
Yeah, I was 13, and it was electric. The city was electric. There was excitement like no other, and I think with Burrow in place, the city loves offense. I mean, you think about the Boomer days, and the city was electric, and then even the Carson Palmer days. I mean, even if they weren't winning, man, if you throw up some offensive numbers, people get excited.
Yeah.
They want to see.
Touchdown.
They want to see, firepower, and I think Joe's going to bring that. I'm excited. I think it's definitely going to be like I said, a new era is upon us. And that being said, I do want to say one more thing. The Red Rifle, he gave us some solid years, but I think if we would have had a different quarterback with those teams, I told you off camera, we would have probably not only had one but 2 Super Bowls.
Oh man!
If there was anybody else other than Dirty Dalton.
So much Super Bowl talk through this. I love
it. Yeah,
I love it.
Well, listen, that's and the funny thing is people say like we were mentioning earlier, there's 2 chains of thought as far as do you sit Burrow and let him learn kind of like Carson Palmer did, or do you throw him to the fire like Peyton Manning? Well, listen, because they're scared because the line play was so terrible. Well, listen, Dalton didn't have the legs that Burrow does. Burrow, he has some wheels. He was running away from those defenders in that national championship like nothing. Yeah. So,
and who's to say that offensive line is going to be better next year?
Yeah, exactly. So listen, you want to get your money out of him right away. Let him learn on the job, and I think we're in store for some great things. Well, I think
how are we going to end this?
Oh, I know. I don't know. Well, listen, we're going to come back here as soon as the draft starts. Maybe give you some a little commentary and some insight on some picks, and what we think's going to happen, and hopefully you guys continue to tune in. I think we're going to like to do this every couple days at the
on
beginning.
The rag,
and then hopefully daily.
As Kenny Powers would say, on the rag.
On the rag. There we go. So hey, stay tuned. We'll be back here in a few. Thanks.